everybody, Ignatius CPA here. This is another video from my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about cryptocurrency. And if you can't tell from my shirt, my motto today is just going to be, just do it. Okay? That's Nike's motto. And today that's what we're going to utilize. Just do it. All right? It's just so important to just do it. All right? When it comes to cryptocurrency, even if you're afraid, even if you're not sure, you just have to kind of take that leap and take advantage of it. We're going to give you some tips and things to think about in that space. I've been talking about this a lot lately, but I think it's important enough that I'm going to talk about it again. Okay, and I'm going to talk about some stuff that I've been hearing from some other advisors as well and other practitioners that are out there that are kind of irritating me a little bit. So go ahead and stick around. We're going to be right back in a second when we're going to talk all about cryptocurrency. So thanks everybody for tuning in today to the YouTube channel. Today's topic is about cryptocurrency and the importance of taking some time to invest in your future and diversifying your investment strategy a little bit and adding some of this to your portfolio. All right, even though yes, some can argue it's a little bit risky, some can argue that it doesn't make sense, some can argue there's no real value to it, blah, 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 blah. Okay? All I can tell you is I know people who have made millions of dollars off this stuff. I don't know anyone who's made $1 billion, but I've heard about them off of cryptocurrency, okay? And I know that they exist because some of these people invested super early on, and these things are going up massively in short periods of time in terms of their value. And so I'm just astounded by how much money is out there to be made. I'm kicking myself, honestly, for not getting involved a little bit sooner. And so I'm encouraging people today to just do it. Just like my shirt says, just do it. Take that leap, jump in, and take some time to invest in some cryptocurrency. In terms of how you want to do it, it's entirely up to you. If you want to do it all into one coin and take that risk on that one coin, go for it. If you want to do multiple coins, which I usually recommend, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? And you pick a few different coins, maybe 3 to 5, and let's say you got $1,000 to put into it. Take 5 of those coins, put $200 into each of them, and just kind of see where it goes. Okay, and you never know, you could end up doubling your money, tripling your money, quadrupling your money, quintupling your money, on and on and on. Okay, and it could happen very well within a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year. You just never know. And so it's a huge opportunity to take advantage of this market that involves cryptocurrency currently. The debate about, oh well, there's regulation coming, this and that, yada yada. The new bill, infrastructure bill, includes some regulation. Yes, those are all valid. Okay, and I understand that, and it is true. The infrastructure bill does include some stuff, but a lot of that doesn't go into effect for a few years. First of all, second of all, they're not going to make it to where it goes away. If you didn't know, the US government holds quite a bit of crypto itself. I want to say they have maybe 63,000, maybe even more than that, coins of Bitcoin, okay? Which, if you do the math on that, that's 60, if Bitcoin is around $60,000, which I think is closer to 55,000 right now currently, but nevertheless, anywhere between 55,000 and 65,000 it's been in the last month or two here. And so that's a pretty sizable stack of Bitcoin that the US government has. So are they going to do something that's going to result in those dollars going away? Highly doubt it. And so just something to kind of think about and consider as you're thinking about, oh, well, yeah, it's going to go away or it'll go down to zero or blah, blah, blah. And also consider this. What else do you spend $1,000 on? Let's just assume that you have $1,000 to spend. There's a lot of people who spend $1,000 on craziness. Even if it's $100, okay? Let's say you got $100. People spend $100 on craziness all the time. So why not take an opportunity to spend some money on something that could actually make you money? That's the way you got to think about it, all right? At the end of the day, cryptocurrency is a way to potentially make some money. All right. Yes, you could potentially lose some money, but you have to kind of be strong-willed enough to know, okay, if you buy in and that cryptocurrency goes down 20, 30%, sometimes 50%, sometimes maybe a little more from where you bought in, just know that more likely than not, it's going to go back up. So typically what I would recommend in that situation is you buy more. If it goes down 50%, I hope you're buying more of it instead of selling it, because that's usually, and this is the same thing with the stock market, people. Same thing with your traditional stock market stuff. If you got a stock that's going down that much and you don't see anything specific that's causing that, or you think the issue that's causing it is short-term in nature and it will rebound, you should be buying more of it, okay? And that's the same thing with some of these cryptocurrencies. They're having huge swings just because there's people who will buy a lot of it and they try to sell it, trade it, and this and that, yada, yada, yada. And so that's what causes some of these huge swings. And so you just have to kind of be strong-willed enough to keep it, hold it. And as long as you have it in there for a long-term investment, which is another reason why I recommend doing this inside of your Roth IRA or Roth 401k or your health savings account as an investment tool in one of those, because those are all tax-free growth type accounts, right? Where you can get the profits tax-free. But they're also long-range investment accounts where you don't necessarily need to touch the money for a period of time. And so if you can let the money just sit there, even if you just put it $500, $1,000, if you have more money to put into it, $10,000, okay? Even if whatever you can put into it, just start putting something into it. And more likely than not, again, I can never guarantee anything, people, but more likely than not, including my own experience here, okay? My own experience, I've doubled my investment in cryptocurrency in about 6 months, okay? Now, the coins that I was investing in were a little less risky, and so, that's why it wasn't more. But had I gotten into some of these more risky type coins, some of the newer coins, I probably could have done more than just double it. So, there's so much opportunity and ability for you to really just grow your account, whatever it is, whether you want to do a taxable account, whether you want to do it inside your Roth, etc., etc. But there's so much opportunity for you to grow that. Why not take that chance? Why not take that chance and potentially get a huge return? Okay, and so that's kind of my question to you is, if you think about some of the things that you waste money on, let's be realistic. We all waste money on things, myself included. Hey, I try not to waste as much as possible, but hey, we're all human. So there's things that we want sometimes, and sometimes it makes no sense, and sometimes we just go out and buy it on impulse, okay? But if you think about all the things you waste money on, hopefully you can not do that one time, or 2 times, or 3 times, or however many times you need to accumulate enough to make an investment into cryptocurrency, and you put some of those dollars into it. And maybe even try to do that once a month, once a quarter, something like that, to where you're slowly growing your investment in there. And you'll slowly start to see that investment growing and your earnings growing and your gains in those investments growing. And hopefully that will incentivize you to want to put more into it, okay? And periodically you're going to see that it's going to go down, yes, and that will be an opportunity to buy more, okay? So this is the way you have to kind of think about the cryptocurrency, and why, I highly recommend people consider doing it. Now, don't go crazy and make it your entire investment portfolio, people. All right, I'm not recommending that at all. But if you want to put maybe 5%, 10%, I'd probably say no more than 20%. That 20% is probably a little aggressive. But hey, if it grows to that, then more power to you, right? You made some smart investment choices. And at that point, it's up to you what you want to do. You can pull some of your initial investment off the table and just let it continue to grow. You can sell some of it and kind of take some of your profits and, just kind of do something else with it. Or whatever. You can rebalance it and do whatever you want. Okay? But yeah, in terms of making that initial investment though, I probably wouldn't recommend doing more than like 5 to 10%. That's just, again, my personal opinion. None of this, by the way, people, is investment advice. I just always have to give that disclaimer. I'm just talking about my own personal experiences and trying to educate people on some ways you could do it to save you money on taxes as well as potentially have some good growth and financial gain into the future, so that you can help yourself build financial freedom and financial wellness for you and your family. Okay, that's the goal of what we're talking about here. And so I just think it's so powerful, and I encourage everyone to really just consider getting a little piece of the cryptocurrency world, and doing a little bit of both. You can do some in a taxable account so you have access to it, but just keep in mind you will pay taxes on it. So if you have an investment that turns into $1 million, which could very well happen, I know people who have had that happen. Okay, you could be ending up with a sizable tax bill. All right, if you go and sell it all, which is why I'd highly recommend you do a little bit of both. Do some taxable, do some in a non-taxable account. That way, you're not getting hit too hard, but you're still getting some of the advantages of that growth. Okay, so do it in Roth IRA, Roth 401k, and HSA are some of the 3 best accounts to do this inside of. Just because those are tax-free growth accounts, okay? And they have flexibility in terms of how you're using the money. You could also do it inside the Coverdell ESA education savings account, but just keep in mind that has to be used on education. So if you have a high growth account for that, then you could, obviously you could pay for your kids' college, but that's all you can really use it on. And so you don't want to have too much inside of a Coverdell ESA, which is why I usually don't recommend that one. So the better choices are going to be your Roth IRA, Roth 401k, or health savings account. Okay, those are going to be your best options in terms of utilizing some tax-free growth type accounts. You could also do it in a traditional IRA or a pre-tax 401k, but just keep in mind you will have to pay taxes on those gains in the future. And the whole point of the Roth IRA and Roth 401k and health savings account is to not pay taxes on those gains, right? So that's why I'm recommending those types of accounts, because that's where you're going to get the tax savings. That's where you're going to be able to multiply your money over and over and really powerfully compound it. Okay, which we've talked about before. The other thing I'll mention in relation to the Roth IRA and using your retirement accounts and other types of accounts, you can trade as much as you want. Okay, so in a lot of cases when you're in a taxable account, you don't want to sell if you've only been holding it for 5 months, but you could be sitting on a large gain, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want this gain to go away, because frankly, cryptocurrency, when you have a large gain, it can potentially go down pretty sizable. So let's say your account's up 100%, and you're like, I want to sell some of this, but I don't want to pay short-term gains. Well, that's the problem with having it in a taxable account. Whereas if you have it inside your retirement account, your Roth IRA, your Roth 401k, or your health savings account, you pay no taxes when you trade it, even if you've only held it for 1 month, even if you've only held it for 1 day. You don't pay any taxes when you trade inside of your retirement accounts. Okay, so that's another key benefit of those accounts. Not only are you getting tax-free growth, but you have the ability to trade as much as you want without paying taxes on those transactions. 2 thumbs up. So again, back to the original model for today. Just do it, people. Just do it. That's all I can say. There's no other way around this. Like, you just have to do it. Take that leap, take that jump, have some faith, and I think you'll end up coming out better on the other side. Okay? There's always that risk that you could lose everything. I get it. Which is why I'm saying don't throw the whole kitchen sink in there. It is super risky, but with great risk comes what? Great reward. And so, take that chance, take that risk, and get that reward, because it's going to help you in the long run with financial wellness, financial freedom, however you want to think about it, generational wealth, whatever's important to you. It'll help you in the long run. So that's the video for today, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, etc. If anybody has any questions, it's a topic where I'm sure there's tons of questions that can come up. Feel free to reach out and leave us a message, give us a chat. Send us an email, call the office, we'll do what we can to try to help you out. You know, in some cases, if you're asking more complicated questions, you will have to kind of schedule a consultation with me. But, you know, if it's something super easy and simple, then we'll usually just kind of answer that and move on from there. Okay. Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and all that good stuff. And we will be back with more videos in the near future. Hope you have a good one. Bye.